Hey guys, this is PODFIC, and today we're going to be reading Friends, Definition May Vary by Slade Snowflakes. This is Chapter 2. Bruce's life has been full of bitter truths. He has learned that the best way to handle them is to admit to them, accept them. Truth. Last night, Bruce didn't just leave Luthor's Christmas gala. He fled it. Truth. Last night, Bruce went straight home and went straight to bed. This may not seem bad, except Bruce Wayne is Batman. Except he wasn't Batman last night. He didn't go out on patrol. He didn't continue his research into Novastem. He didn't even go into the Batcave. He had called the bats and birds, rescheduled everyone's patrols to cover for him. Of course, Batman doesn't take off from the mission. So when he told the Bat family he was calling it a night, the surprise and concern and demand for an answer was overwhelming. His children's concern, while endearing, was also something he was not in the mood to deal with. So, in the outcry of his children, Bruce did a very childish thing and hung up on them. He knew he was going to regret it tomorrow, but he accepted the fate as he crashed face first into his pillow. The last thought that went through his head last night was he was getting too old for this shit. Having gone to bed early, it was no surprise that he'd wake up early, earlier than usual. Bruce can't remember the last time he was woken up at 6 a.m. without an alarm. It's with this mindset that he wasn't even thinking as he wandered into the kitchen. So he walks into the kitchen to see all of his children sitting in the breakfast nook, eating and drinking coffee. Everyone. Even Jason. This should be the warning bells that today is not going to be good. Bruce and Jason's relationship has been a fucking shit show. Two stubborn men with colliding morals, though through it all, he still considers Jason his son, and it warms him that Jason was even willing to come to the manor at all. Though Bruce knows that this peace treaty, this recent act of civility between them is in thanks to his youngest. It took years for Damien to openly admit to the connection he felt with Jason, and even longer for him to admit that he was afraid that if he failed in controlling his anger issues like Jason, Bruce would eventually kick him out. After that, something changed between Bruce and Jason. More allowances were made, compromises were agreed upon. They were working on not actively killing each other, and things were going good. But he didn't realize that they were going this good. Good enough for Jason to come to the manor. This piece is something he didn't want to break, but what to say? What are you doing here? Too abrasive. What can I do for you? Too aggressive. It's good to see you? It was. It really was. But would that be too much? Oh my god, old man, just drink some coffee and sit down. I'm just here for the show. Being saved from any awkward situations, Bruce leans against the kitchen island's counter, his voice calm yet curious. What show? Alfred walks over and hands Bruce a cup of coffee. Sir, I believe that Master Jason is talking about the conversation your family would like to have about last night's escapades of one Brucie Wayne. Accepting the cup, Bruce softly snorts. Well, Jason is going to be very disappointed since there will be no such conversation. However, before he could switch topics, Damien stood up, pounding his fist on the table. Father, we demand to know about your new relationship. Bruce only raises his eyebrow as he takes a sip of his coffee. In the years with Damien growing up in the mansion, his hot-temperedness and superiority complex have been slowly boxed and buffered by the girls, to the point that Damien's demands are no longer followed by threats, and if Bruce is patient enough, occasionally a please, depending on how badly Damien wants said demand. Damien kept eye contact, his face in a scowl. Then, with an eye twitch, he followed with a curt, Please, father. Bruce finishes his sip, pretending to savor it. No. Damien isn't the only outcry at this, as the rest of the family also joined chorus. Father! Bruce! You have to tell us! Bruce patiently waits for them to quiet down. I don't have to do anything. Jason snorts as he leans back. Come on, old man. You've done some really dumb shit as Brucie throughout the years, but this is gold. With a flare, he plops the tabloid magazine on the table, open to the centerfold containing a whole spread of just Bruce and Lex. The first picture looks candid, the exact moment Brucie first turned up. Mid-turn to the camera, an arm reaching out, touching the small of Luthor's back. Luthor had his back mislaid to Bruce, but was turning towards Bruce's touch. To the unknowing eye, it looks like the two were getting in position for pictures. Where the first pic is candid, the second one looks full-blown professional, showing them standing together, arms around each other's waist, smiling at the camera. But for how professional it looked, there was a problem with this picture. It didn't look staged. It looks good. It looks genuinely good. If Bruce hadn't been there, hadn't known his own fake smile and known the painful grip that was wrapped around his waist, he would have thought they looked like genuine friends. With building regret, Bruce turned to the last page of the Luthor Christmas Gala spread. The last page, and the biggest picture of the spread, is the kiss. You look like a GQ magazine fucked in Nicholas Sparks' cover. Jason's crude words earned him a slap to the back of the head by Cassandra. No fun. Cute. And while Bruce would never admit it out loud, neither of them were wrong. The picture was taken right as they were pulling together, lips almost touching, and Bruce's hand against Luthor's cheek. It was the direct eye contact that really sold the smoldering look. Containing a sigh, Bruce closes the magazine and turns to Dick. Dick. The only children not admiring the magazine, both Dick and Tim, had been on their phones the whole time. Dick barely looks up. It's a mess, B. Bruce raises an eyebrow. And it was only funny last night? Oh, it was. It was hilarious last night. But now it's a hot mess. Both Wayne and Luthor stocks are all over the place right now. They are jumping and dumping faster than you can count. It's like the world doesn't know if it should rejoice or run to a bomb shelter. Bruce pinches the bridge of his nose to stem off a headache. I assume you've already started a full media purge and paper buyout? Dick looks up sheepishly. No? At Bruce's frown, Dick shrugs helplessly as he looks at his phone. We are in a stalemate. The media purge and buyout was the plan. I was prepared to purge all social media and buy out all the tabloids and newspapers. However, I figured I should wait and see which one Luthor would focus on first. Once I knew what he was cleaning up, I could focus on the other end. Bruce tilts his head in contemplation. But... Dick looks up from his phone. Luthor isn't trying to clean this up. Babs frowns at this statement. Do you think he just doesn't care, or is he waiting for us to make the first move? Dick shrugs. Luthor's entire life is based on his image. He cares. So either he sees a benefit from this kind of publicity, or he wants to clean this up as much as we do, but... Bruce says as he sits down. But Luthor never makes the first move. Dick nods. And now we've waited too long. These images are everywhere. It'll take days to clean this up. Alfred comes over to the table, refilling everyone's coffee. So, what will you do? Dick picks up his coffee. Well, we have to do something. People are jumping to crazy conclusions, and it's feeling a mild mad hysteria. People are claiming that you two are in a relationship, a monopoly merger, and more. He turns his phone over for the table to see. There's even a who gets which superhero in the divorce poll. Everyone at the table instantly starts pulling out their phone to check the poll. Jason is the first to pull it up. Damn, I'm stuck with a Luthor. Before the rest of the bats could tell their positions, a phone ring echoes in the hallway. Alfred looks at the empty phone charger on the kitchen wall, then looks at the Bat family with a raised eyebrow. Nobody moves under the scrutiny of Alfred, save for Dick as he slowly raises his hand up and smiles sheepishly. Alfred tuts and then leaves the kitchen in search of the misplaced phone. Steph breaks the silence as she snorts at her phone, then turns to Bruce. Why not just make an official announcement? Say that you got into the Christmas spirit and was all a prank. Jason snorts as he motions to the tabloid. Do you see these pictures? No one would believe that. Babs grabs the magazine and opens it up. But they'd believe you are friends. Why don't you just officially announce you guys are actually friends? Just blame the kiss on the Christmas spirits and mistletoe. Tim takes a gulp of the coffee. That could work. He turns to his tablet, aggressively stabbing at it. Bruce glances into his coffee cup. I'm not friends with Lex Luthor. Babs nods. No, but Brucie could be. I think it's fitting that Brucie got you into this. Brucie can get you out. Bruce eyes his children. None of them seem out of place with the idea. And you would be okay with that? Brucie Wayne being friends with Luthor. Stephanie answers, well, I know he's evil, he's done evil things for years, but has he really been that evil lately? Bruce frowns. We're in the middle of investigating Novastem. Jason snorts. Yeah, but you've only been investigating that because he hasn't done anything evil lately. I mean, he's been doing some weird shit lately, but nothing really evil. When was the last time Luthor went evil genius? Multiple voices chimed in around the table in unison. Konoha Island. Jason snorted. That was years ago. Dick continued. But he tried to wipe out an entire island and its natives. Tim paused. But he didn't. Truthfully, his plans didn't even look complete. Steph nodded. It did look half-assed. Seeing that he had backup, Jason sat up. And we still don't know why he did it. Dick looks up from his phone. Does it really matter why he did it? Jason gives him a scandalous look. Yes! Dick refutes, stabbing his finger into the table. No, it doesn't. Evil is evil. Babs interrupts the two oldest with a mischievous grin. Oh, Jay, you're just defending your new divorcee daddy. Jason chucks a bagel at Babs' head. Shut up. Babs catches it out of the air and goes to throw it back, but is interrupted by Bruce clearing his throat. What about throwing food? Both Babs and Jason sheepishly sink into their chairs. As the built-up energy in the room dissipates, Steph continues the previous conversation. Look, Pacific Island aside, can you name anything else? Slowly, people start shaking their heads. Satisfied, she nods. See, no reason why Brucie can't be friends with Luthor. Tim downs the rest of his coffee in a gulp before speaking. Small problem. I doubt Luthor would admit to being friends with Brucie. Before anyone can reply, Alfred returns to the kitchen with the phone in hand. Sir, Mr. Luthor is on the phone for you. Everyone stops and slowly blinks. Bruce gets up and grabs the phone, but doesn't answer right away. He seems in almost a daze as he contemplates the reason for Lex to call, only stopping when Dick rolls his hand, motioning him to talk. Bruce blinks, raises the phone, and opens his mouth. And Brucie Wayne falls out. Lexi, I'm so glad you called. I was just looking at our photos last night. Have you seen these? We look great. I mean, I always look great, but damn, aren't you the diamond in my rough? The faces of his children range from surprise and fascination to utter disgust. Every one of his children has dealt with Brucie at one point or another in their life, but no matter how often one deals with Brucie Wayne, no one can really build up a tolerance to this level of sleaze. Lex's smooth, calculating voice resounds from the phone. Yes, I have seen them. That is the reason for the call. I'm sure you have seen the amounts of attention they have received. Bruce can feel a sleazy smile creep across his face. Oh yeah, everyone loves them. Hashtag Blex. Or was it hashtag loose? I personally prefer hashtag Lucy, but I'm not picky. We should get in front of the camera more often. Like, right now, I'll bring my own photographer. And I'll bring mine. The Diverge will do. 10 a.m. Don't be late, Wayne. Lexi, did you just ask me on a... Click. Bruce pulls the phone away from his face and frowns at it. Jason is the first to interrupt the silence. Man, does that hurt your brain as much as that hurts my soul? Bruce puts the phone down with a sigh. Yes. Jason leans forward and wiggles his eyebrows. So, what about this date? Dick answers, reading a headline off his phone. Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne to hold press conference at the Diverge. Cass nods. Good choice. Neutral ground. Nice view. Dick continues to look at his phone, his brain turning. That's good. Really good. We can clean this up before new news. Steph frowns and looks at Bruce. But Luthor never makes the first move. Bruce sits down in deep contemplation. Not unless he's got something to gain. Alright guys, and that's the end of chapter 2 of Friends. Definition may vary by Slade Snowflakes. I hope you guys liked it in this next chapter.